A volunteer guide. Volunteering in general. If you like to volunteer or possibly meet people, many of these organizations have local affiliates or they have resource information to put you in touch with local volunteering agencies in your area. Some of these situations are extended period, overseas charitable type work like the Peace Corps. They may require you to pay transportation costs to the place, but usually your accommodations and food are provided. Some offer extracurricular tourist activities on the side while some are just straight work. Some families volunteer together in a project and some take their vacation in a volunteering capacity. Probably your closest source of volunteering is to ask your local churches about programs in your area and overseas. Some volunteer opportunities turn out well, some leave you feeling you were used. Try to talk to someone who went to the same program as you're interested in before you sign up. Ask some basic questions like, who are the other people I'll be with? What are they like? Are they my age? Will I get my own bedroom, a shared bedroom, or sleep in a dorm? Is room and board included? What are the bathroom arrangements? What is the food like? Who pays for transportation and room and board? Are there any additional expenses? How much free time will I have? Will they provide activities and tours for the volunteers? Will I be able to travel around? What about security and safety? What about medical insurance? tvindalert.com, warning about some voluntary organizations. Volunteer program feedback stories. ethicalvolunteering.org. tourismconcern.org.uk. Volunteering leads to full-time work if you're good. It doesn't matter where you go, people can't find good steady workers interested in the work. During any volunteering gig you go on that involves a real operation, not just something created to make money like some NGO programs are, the bosses are watching for someone truly a good worker interested in the work at hand. After a month or so, they'll offer them a full-time job. Pickingjobs.com, seasonal jobs. Slowfood.com, volunteer. www.net. helpex.net. warkawi.info. vagosplace.com, Costa Rica. Volunteer programs that can lead to jobs or college money. nationalservice.gov/program/America PS, AmeriCorps. peacecorps.gov, Peace Corps. teachforamerica.org, Teach for America. Volunteer Organization Guide. citizencorps.gov, find volunteer opportunities in your community. seniorcorps.org. nationalserviceresources.org/SC-FGP Handbook, 800-860-2684. volunteermatch.org, volunteer match to find community. Service opportunities near you. The sites. serviceleader.org/new, service leader pages highlight general information about volunteering. You can learn about more volunteer opportunities at givespot.com, givespot.com. christianvolunteering.org. 1-800-volunteer.org. americaspromise.org. avso.org, Association of Voluntary Service Organizations. Corporation for National and Community Service. nationalservice.org. Elder Hostel Incorporated. elderhostel.org. Older volunteers aged 55 and over. International Volunteer Program. 4psf.org. NetAid Foundation. netaid.org. Transitions Abroad. transabroad.com. volunteerabroad.com. adventuretravelabroad.com. goabroad.com. Volunteers in Technical Assistance, VITA. vita.org. Volunteers of America. voa.org. volunteeralive.org. Association of Leaders in Volunteer Engagement, ALIVE, is a national membership organization of leaders and professionals in volunteer engagement. Volunteer websites. Try hashtag 302.14 or HN90 at the library for books about volunteering. glamourgals.org, Glamour Gals, foundation that organizes teen volunteers to provide companionship and beauty makeovers to women living in senior homes. CityImpact.org/meal-mania, City Impact's meal m.a.n.i.a, packing meal boxes for individuals in need Chicago. Habitat.org, Habitat for Humanity. MSA.org, Multiple Sclerosis Association of America. HumaneSociety.org, the Humane Society of the United States. KAB.org/r-program/great-american-cleanup, Keep America Beautiful's Great American Cleanup. DoSomething.org/us, Do Something. Dorotusa.org, from the Jewish word for generations, encourages high school students to volunteer by providing direct services to elderly generations. Leah's-hope.com/2.html, Leah's Hope, teenagers living in Chinese orphanages to help them attend college. Ladybugfoundation.ca, houses and feeds homeless men and women in Canada. ProjectCSGirls.com, Project CS Girls, young girls' involvement in technology and science. Redcross.org. VolunteerMatch.org. OnlineVolunteering.org/n/index.html, United Nations Online. Volunteering Service. Volunteer.org.nz, Global Volunteer Network. Volu.org, Work Camps. VoluntaryWorkCamps.org, Ghana. Volunteer.co.il, Israel. Volunteer.gov. Volunteer.org.nz, Global Volunteer Network. VolunteerBolivia.org. VolunteerCentersBayArea.org, San Francisco. VolunteerGalapagos.com, Volunteer Galapagos. VolunteerHQ.org. VolunteerinCambodia.org. VolunteeringInAfrica.org, Volunteer in Africa. VolunteerInternational.com, must pay fees. Gapforce.org/gb/gap-year-program/social-care, Gapforce, Social Care Abroad. VolunteerHQ.org/gb, International Volunteer HQ. ProjectTrust.org.uk/social-care, Project Trust, Social Care. Yipyap.co.uk, UPYAP, in-school tutorial support. abroaderview.org/program/conservation-environmental, A Broader View volunteers, conservation environmental. Gap360.com/conservation, Gap360, conservation. Gapeyear.com/volunteering/conservation, gapeyear.com, conservation volunteering abroad. Podvolunteer.org/project-type/conservation, Pod Volunteer, Conservation. tcv.org.uk, The Conservation Volunteers, TCV. Travelersworldwide.com/cultural-courses. www.net, Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms, WOOF, and Gap360.com/farm-work-abroad, Gap Year 360, Farm Work Abroad. bunac.org/uk/intern-abroad, Bunac, Intern Abroad. Gapeyear.com/internships, gapeyear.com, internships. Paveinternships.com, Pave, internships. realgap.co.uk/internships, realgap experience. studentladder.co.uk/year-13/gap-year-placements, student ladder. erasmusintern.org. gapmedics.com/uk, gapmedics. challengesworldwide.com, challenges worldwide. vsointernational.org, volunteer service organization. healthcarevolunteer.com, healthcare volunteer. hvousa.org, health volunteers overseas. idealist.org/if/as/vol, idealist. universalgiving.org, universal giving. Chapter 4. Volunteering by place. Thengolist.com, a volunteer website for Latin America and Asia. Africa volunteering websites. abcgap.com, African Botswana Challenge. adventurealternative.com. afconservex.com, pay a high fee to help park wardens in Africa. africanimpact.com. conservationafrica.net. africanencounter.org. africanimpact.com. South Africa volunteering websites. africanexperience.co.za, South Africa. aviva-sa.com, AIDS orphans. bunac.org. bundusafaris.com, volunteer projects including chimpanzee monitoring. conservationafrica.net. gap-year-south-africa.org. projectafrica.com, African Conservation Trust. sanseacob.co.za, the conservation of coastal birds. Asia volunteering websites. burmavolunteer.com. bwca.org, Bangladesh work camps. coralk.org, reefs. frontier.ac.uk, Conservation Asia. frontierconservation.org. opwal.com, Operation Wallacea, Indonesia. orangutan.org.uk, Asia. greenforce.org. Australia volunteering. volunteering.org.au. osval.org, Australian Volunteers International. conservationvolunteers.com.au. volunteeringaustralia.org. aims.gov.au, Australian Institute of Marine Sciences. savethekoala.com. conservationvolunteers.com.au. wwoof.com.au, Organic Farms. British volunteering websites. ncvo-val.org.uk, National Council of Voluntary Organisations. do-it.org.uk. volunteering.org.uk. timebank.org.uk. spw.org, Student Partnership Worldwide. gap.org.uk, Gap Year. raleigh.org.uk, Eco Community Projects. teaching-abroad.co.uk. workfortravel.co.uk. worldchallenge.co.uk. worldexchange.org.uk. worldvision.org.uk. worldvol.co.uk, worldwide. worldwidevolunteering.org.uk. Canadian volunteering websites. volunteer.ca, volunteering, Canada's site for information on volunteering. cwy-jcm.org, volunteering, Canada World Youth. charityvillage.com, volunteering, Charity Village. cuzo.org, volunteering, Canadian-based international development organization. volunteernow.ca. vsocanada.org. Caribbean volunteering websites. cvexp.org, Caribbean Volunteer Expeditions. Caribbean.lds.org. volunteersignup.org. JamaicaVolunteerPrograms.com. CaribbeanReefBuddy.org. Caribinfo.com. ChristianVolunteering.org. VolunteerMatch.org. VolunteersPot.com. workingabroad.com/projects/Caribbean-conservation-volunteer. Central America volunteering websites. CentralAmerica.com. FloridaExplorer.com/volunteering. GentleLivingOnline.com/volunteer-work/volunteer-in-South-America. GlobalWarCanTravel.com volunteer. VolunteersOUTHAmerica.net. India volunteering websites. aidindia.org. auroville.org.in, andhra@auroville.org.in, Bharatnivas, Tamil Nadu, India, famous utopian-type commune, lots of Westerners there. Dakshinayan.org, tribal peoples in the hills of Rajmahal. developmentinaction.org. rosekayanda.info, rural organization on social elevation in Uttarakhand, work with poor villagers. Ruchi.org, Himalayas. Sarvodaya.org, reconstruction, etc. Smilengeo.org. Visvadiyarsanam.free.fr, India, Kerala. YouthReachIndia.org. Japan volunteering websites. emb-japan.go.jp/n/visas/work_hall.html. earthwatch-japan.gr.jp. fits.org. jah.ne.jp/nice-do, Japanese work camp. www.japan.com. Latin America volunteering. afsc.org, Mexico. amazonico.org, animals, Ecuador. ambergrisque.com, conservation, Belize. amerispan.com, 800-879-6640, South America, language courses and volunteer programs. amigoslink.org. globalvolunteers.org, 800-398-8787. globaware.org, Brazil. godschild.org, Antigua, Guatemala. volunteerbolivia.org. volunteergalapagos.org. volunteerguatemala.org. volunteeringecuador.org. volunteerlatinamerica.com. volunteerpe10.org, Guatemala. volunteerzoutamerica.net. yci.org, Canadian Youth Challenge goes to Guyana. Mexico volunteering websites. globalvolunteers.org/Mexico. crossculturalsolutions.org. gapeyear.com/volunteering. volunteerhq.org/volunteer-in-Mexico. mexonline.com/websites.htm. volunteerzoutamerica.net. Nepal volunteering websites. etc-nepal.org. gennepal.org, education. hec.org, Himalayas Explorers Club. New Zealand volunteering. volunteer.org.nz. iepnz.co.nz, International Exchange Programs, 0800-443-769. United States volunteering websites. globalvolunteers.org/USA. usvolunteers.org. volunteeringinamerica.gov. Medical volunteering websites. redcross.org. gapmedics.com/UK, gapmedics. planmygapyear.co.uk/medical-volunteer-abroad-projects, Plan My Gap Year. Center for International Disaster Information, CIDI, Disaster Assistance Registration Database. cidi.org/?disaster+assistance+registration+registration+database. Heart to Heart International. heart-to-heart.org. International Medical Corps, IMC. imcworldwide.org. Remote Area Medical Volunteer Corps, RAM, Volunteer Corps. ramasa.org/volunteer. Volunteers in Medicine, VIM. volunteersinmedicine.org. volunteersinhealthcare.org. medicalreservecorps.gov, the Civilian Volunteer Medical Reserve Corps. patchadams.org. doctorswithoutborders.org. Help Children volunteering websites. abroaderview.org/program/community-development-building, A Broader View volunteers, community development building. gap360.com/children-community, gap360, children and community. childrensnational.org/giving/get-involved/volunteer. actionforchildren.org.uk, Action for Children helps 370,000 babies, children, and families across the UK. barnardos.org.uk, Barnardos helps to transform the lives of some of the country's most vulnerable children. beanstalkcharity.org.uk, Beanstalk has volunteers across England and you could be one of them. gvi.co.uk, GVI in local schools to help children develop their language skills, which will hopefully lead to better future education and work opportunities. Government volunteering info. AmeriCorps is a federal agency that coordinates volunteering activities. If you are interested in volunteering somewhere within the many programs out there, this office will direct you to the appropriate office near where you live. Their main program is the deal that you help out all over the country for a year receiving very low pay and then get a lump sum at the end of it to presumably use for college. It's tied in with college loans. All these websites are part of the AmeriCorps program. Work with them and you get your AmeriCorps money for college at the end of your one-year term. Work for 1,700 hours on community projects, then get a lump sum of money for college, about $5,000 for a full-time volunteer for a year, $2,500 for a part-time volunteer for a year. nationalservice.gov, peacecorps.gov, brethrenvolunteerservice.org, 800-323-8039, some programs qualify. camphill.org, chrisapp.org, Christian Appalachian Project. cityyear.org, Boston. experiencecorps.org. goodshepherdvolunteers.org, gsv@goodshepherds.org, 888-668-6478. gouldfarm.org, Farm of Mentally Ill People, Monterey, MA. lvchome.org, Lutheran Volunteer Corps. Green Volunteering/Ecology Volunteering. ecologyottawa.ca. ecojobs.com. goodwork.ca. fremontleaf.org. greenottawa.ca. greenottawa.ca/jobs. greenvolunteers.com. ecologyaction.ca/current-volunteer-opportunities. ecologyactioncenter.org/EAC-volunteer-application. Poverty volunteering websites. oxfam.org.uk. povertyresolutions.org. poverty.com. poverty.org.uk/summary/links.htm. povertyinamerica.mit.edu. povertyprogram.com/volunteer.php. Volunteer websites at circleax.org/volunteer-work-sites. volunteermatch.org. pointsoflight.org/get-involved. volunteeringmatters.org.uk. volunteernow.co.uk/volunteer-management. volunteerscotland.net. volunteer.com.au. govolunteer.com.au. volunteeringnz.org.nz. Volunteer websites at diversity.social/best volunteer opportunities sites. volunteermatch.org, Volunteer Match. allforgood.org. circleax.org/nonprofit-jobs, CircleActs. do-it.org, do it. dogoodjobs.co.nz, dogoodjobs.co.nz. idealist.org, Idealist. justbetter.org, Best Volunteer Opportunities. pointsoflight.org, Points of Light. reachvolunteering.org.uk, Reach. volunteer.ca. volunteer.com.au, Seek Volunteer. volunteeringmatters.org.uk, Volunteering Matters. volunteeringwithindia.org, Volunteering with India. Volunteer websites at thebalancecareers.com/post-graduate-volunteer-opportunities-2059849. nationalservice.gov/program/America PS, AmeriCorps Internal Peace Corps for the USA. peacecorps.gov, Peace Corps U.S. Government. International Service Projects. peacecorps.gov/volunteer/benefits, award of $10,000 after completing service. worldteach.org, WorldTeach. Teach English, Math, Science, Computer Skills, Elementary Education. cityyear.org, educational support programs in cities nationwide. thesca.org, the Student Conservation Association. CatholicVolunteerNetwork.org, some placements provide a stipend, housing. Matcheducation.org/join/match-core, full-time residential fellows program, tutor students at public charter schools in the Boston area. earthcore.org/join-core-program.php, projects in the Puget Sound area of Washington State. TeachForAmerica.org, Teach for America college graduates who have not completed teacher programs teach in poor areas for pay. TNTP.org, teacher fellows program similar to Teach for America. Idealist.org. Cheap travel info. Wherever you're going, go to groups.yahoo.com, find a group on that area, then read their posts. Read a local newspaper online before you go on your trip. Download maps from maps.google.com, look at the green areas and go there. Wherever you are, try the local library and a local bookstore. If you're an adventurer, check out the local sports shops wherever you are. An obscure idea that might work is to check with your university alumni association or facebook.com to see who was in the same class as you and if they live where you're going. They might meet with you and entertain you for an afternoon. Be friendly with locals. You never know what opportunities they might open up for you. Stay at hostels. Go to #910-919 at the library. HelpMeTravelCheap.com. Destitute traveler / down and out on the road. If you run out of money, the only thing your country's embassy in that country will do is let you use their phone to call a friend or relative back home to get money wired to you. Have backup money ready, like in your PayPal account, on a debit card, etc., or have a friend on standby back home in case you need money. You can read those books like the ones at vacationwork.co.uk that talk about people doing menial labor or self-employment services to get around the world. Some guy says he does website design while he travels around the world. Read the books, number 331, #900-910, at the library, about how people say they get around the planet with no money, working as they go. Don't forget www.org, willing workers on organic farms. Don't beg but check out the couch surfing websites for a possible friend near where you are. Assuming you have a contact at home, get money wired to you through either westernunion.com or moneygram.com. Getting help at the local consulate or embassy of your country is a subjective matter. It depends on the individuals there. Many of these people are elitists, seeing themselves as doing important things in world trade and world relations, and when they get some destitute tourist from their country at the door, they just see you as a minor nuisance and get rid of you. I heard of one story where some guy who got robbed went to his local American embassy. They told him he should have thought of that when he planned his trip and told him to get lost. Legally, they can contact a family member for you, get that family member to send money to the embassy where they will give it to you, but they are under no obligation beyond that. If you're down and out, you either need to make local friends who can help you, get a job, get help from a church, or go to a hostel, tell them you got no money and you're willing to work for a roof over your head until you find a real job. Other tourists might help you. Big charitable organizations like Caritas and the Salvation Army offer homeless and night shelters. Virtually everywhere in the world, there are shelters for homeless people in the cities. If something happens and you lose your money or become destitute, you can stay in these shelters for a few nights at a time, even if you're a foreign tourist, because the bottom line is that you are a person in need, and most of these shelters are run by Christian groups. To find one, ask around or go to any church and ask where there is a homeless shelter in the area. Beyond that, hostels are usually run by good, left-wing type people as opposed to capitalists looking to make a profit no matter what. The people who stay at hostels are generally good people in the sense that they will give you moral support and tips on how to make money and get back on your feet. If you're destitute, the owners will often give you free room and board in exchange for doing some daily work for them. If you plan to sleep out, be careful about sleeping on private property, because some people are very protective. They would rather shoot you thinking you're a robber than to reason with you. If you plan to sleep in a rundown building, be aware that there could be local poor people around who might try to kill you for your knapsack. Get free food from charities and Hare Krishna temples. Really destitute people sell their blood, sperm, or work in medical experiments as subjects. Don't forget the Travelers Aid Society, travelersaid.org. travelersaid.ca, help for travelers in an emergency. Follow me faxes. If you have a laptop but need faxes, instead of paying the high hotel rates, the following companies will route a fax to you through your email address. Callware.com, efax.com, chfax.com.